Hey guys, Bjemson Darius, aka BJ here from Dear Dad Podcast. Now, when I started this podcast, I wanted a platform where I can record and upload my content very easily. I didn't want to go through any hoops to get my podcast out there. When I did start my podcast, I was on a different platform. But after I was introduced to Anchor not once, not twice, but over 3 times by my close friends, I decided to give Anchor a try. I must say, I absolutely love it. Not only is it easy to use, but I am able to record, edit, post, and publish all my episodes right there on the app or the site. I was able to transfer all my episodes onto Anchor in less than 5 minutes. That, for me, was unbelievable. Oh yeah, here's the best thing of all. It's free. It is free to use. Yeah, I know, that's crazy, but take my word on this. It's true. Using Anchor has definitely made podcasts so easy. Trust me, you'll love it. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome to the Dear Dad Podcast, a platform where you can come and express yourself, whether through poetry, spoken words, essay, or simply a live conversation. This is all dad talk. I'm here for you. Let's go. Hello, you beautiful people. Thank you for coming back to your Dear Dad podcast. My name is Bjemson Darius, also known as BJ. Thank you again for joining us again for this conversation. And today I have another special guest for you. It is another relative of mine. It is my younger brother. So we're doing relatives a lot for this podcast for now on. I'm so happy that he decided to take this offer of talking about fathers and dads and fatherhood. And I'm so happy to introduce you guys to my little brother, Gamaniel Darius.
How you doing? How you doing, everybody? Thanks for having me.
So I'm just gonna jump right into the first question. And again, these questions you can answer it as far as you want to go. You can go as deep as you want to go, and I encourage that. And the first question is typically is it's gonna be who is Gamaniel? Tell me about Gamaniel.
So, who am I? Um, so, out of the 6 kids that our mother had, I am number 4. I'm the last boy from my mother, um, and I have 2 younger sisters, one older sister, and 2 older brothers. Um, what do I do for a living? I work in finance. Um, always have been interested in numbers. Ever since I was a younger child, and I took that into college, and it worked out in the long haul. I love sports, especially basketball. Um, I have 2 daughters. Um, what else? I think when it comes to the family, um, they say I am the one who they can go to in terms of financial, um, which is good. I love just helping my family out. My biggest, I would say that what I love the most about my family is that, and not even just my brothers and sisters, just my cousins, that we're all close. I know that if I ever feeling down, I could always just, we have a group chat. I could always just read up what's going on. When I was younger, we had our cousin who lived up the block from us. We had 2 cousins. And whenever I was going through a bad time, whenever I was bored, I just always go see them. Um, it was fun because it was always laughter. Um, they moved away, but we always keep in contact. We literally talk every day since maybe 4 years ago. I don't know what brought it up. I guess maybe whenever WhatsApp came out, we just came up with a group chat and we talked every day. We do trips together. Um, my passions in life is just to, I guess it will be just to be to to leave my kids with more than what I had. Um, we'll get into that later on. Um, I think that's it. If anything else, I'll say it as the podcast go on.
Yeah, of course, of course. I just want to elaborate on what Gamaniel said earlier. We had a, a few cousins of ours that lived not too far from us, and that was pretty much our scapegoat that time. That's where we used to go and hang out. That was pretty much that closest cousins. We spent summers there. We spent nights there, and sometimes we just stay up to almost 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning at times, and that's how close we were. And that was a relative that we
were closest to at that time. I mean, right now we are close to all our cousins, and but they're them at that time they were our closest cousin. As far as physically living by, they were not too far from where we lived. So whenever we, especially for me, when I was done with school, I would go straight over there. During summertime, I spent half of my summer over there. So that was our those were our first cousins. That was the closest cousin that lived closest to us, and that's where we used to go and hang out. So tell me about dad.
So, I heard some of the episodes in the podcast, so you pretty much touched on everything. But I'm gonna regurgitate some stuff, and I'm just gonna just say, my story. So our dad had, many wives and many kids. I mean, kind of like a passage from the Bible: many wives, many kids. But yeah, I always remember him being around, but never there. He came once in a while. He I don't know if looking back now, I feel like he did what he could, but the fact that I felt like he chose not to be around, and that was what really, I'll say, maybe I guess held a grudge against him for many years. As I got, as I became a dad, and I think he felt that he missed out on my life, so he wanted to be in his grandkids' life, and that was a real connection, between us. So we came real close from that. But what I said earlier about him not being around, I think that really just, I wouldn't say hinder me. I guess I can say hinder me in my education, because at one point when I was in high school, I wasn't doing too well, and I actually dropped out of high school for a month. Um, and I felt like if he was there, that would have never happened. Because that father figure is always different than so much a mom can do. Because our mom was always working. She worked. She had 6 kids to take care of, and she had to pay the bills. And I kind of took advantage of that, and I fell in the wrong circle at the time. But I kind of, God does everything for a reason. The reason I say it because although I kind of messed up in high school, I did get back on track. I finished college without any student loans. So now all the money that I'm making at work is literally just for me in my pocket. And maybe that could have been different if I had that. Maybe I would have went away to school. I could have went away to college. I would have took some loans. Everything could have been different. So my life, I'm happy where my life is right now, and I'm actually happy with the relationship that I have with my dad right now. Well, our dad. It's grown over the years. He's always called, tried to, get me to come over. I try to come over once in a while. He doesn't live too far from where I live. I live in the city, New York City. My dad lives in upstate in Spring Valley. Well, they don't consider it upstate, but not that far. So it's maybe like 35, 40 minutes away from where I live. And he's always, when he comes, when I come, he's always like, cooking for us, or it's never an empty house when we go there, because we have other brothers and sisters who live with him. We have another brother who don't live that far, and our oldest brother always go over there. So whenever we're going over there, it's like a social moment. It kind of reminds me of what I mentioned earlier about our cousins who didn't live that far. It was always a good time when we went over there. So now whenever I go see my dad, it's always a good time, and I actually look forward to going and seeing him.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what you were saying before, as far as when you were growing up, he wasn't around. And, I had a conversation with Gael not too long ago. And one of the things she said was that she just felt alone. The fact that he was there was one of what bothered me the most, as actually, that we saw him at family outings. We saw him at certain days, but the fact that he wasn't there always had an effect on us. And because my mom had so much kids and she had to work and trying to feed us, we pretty much raised ourselves. And that was one of the big thing. We pretty much raised ourselves. Every last one of us pretty much almost raised ourselves, except for my youngest sister. We pretty much raised ourselves, and the advantage, and I know Gamaniel just said that, was that even myself, because we didn't have a father in our household, Saturdays when we woke up, I would either leave the house and come back late, or find some kind of activities to do. because I didn't want to be in the house. And especially the condition that we were living in was not promising. There was not enough space for anybody. There was never enough food. So I always find a need to always leave because I was never comfortable at home. Imagine being home and not being comfortable. And that's how I felt. So therefore, I always find a need to just go out and be with my friends or stay at my friend's house and come home late. And I didn't have a father to discipline me for that. And that was a problem. And I think almost every last one of us had to go through that, but we had to pretty much raise ourselves. It was difficult, but we made it. And that was one thing I can really say I enjoy. So, I mean, I don't blame, again, I'm not putting blame on my father. Again, it's probably because of his upbringing. I don't know the full detail of his upbringing. I just know it was not the best, but I'm not putting blame. I just know during that time, that's what was happening. And that's the reaction that we took from it. So I know for myself, I had to find outlets to go to. Maybe hang out with my friends, go to my friend's house, play a video game, go to my friend's house to eat because there was no food at their house. It was tough. It was really, really tough. So I always trying to find another outlet for me to just get my attention instead of staying home. What are some characteristics in Dad that you find in you?
That's a funny thing. I've always said, because, our dad wasn't in our lives. And I always said that whatever I didn't get from my mom, I got from my dad. So it was hard to even say because, like, my mom, our mom. Sorry, so for people who's listening, when we were growing up, we used to always refer to our parents as my dad and my mom. So the people who listen, if you hear me keep saying that, that's because that's how we grew up. We had the same mother, same father, but me and BJ and our siblings, we should always say my dad, my mom. So sorry if you hear me saying that. I know from our mom that I get up early in the morning. My mom used to always do that. I can save, I can save money. Our mom was always going good at doing that. Those are like the two things I could always pinpoint. But in terms of my dad, I really don't know what I got from him. I'm just thinking like maybe my attitude or the way I approach certain situations. But to be honest, I don't know what I got from my dad, even to this day. Even though we have a close relationship, so it's basically whatever I didn't get from my mom. So I'm thinking like, because sometimes my mom, when she's stressed out, she doesn't sleep. Some people could sleep. I know my dad takes a lot of naps, and I know BJ, you get that from my dad. I don't do that, so I don't get that from my dad. My mom usually, once my mom is up for the day, she's up. Unless she's tired, she takes a nap, and that's I get that. I get that too. In terms of like physical stuff, I get our mom is dark skin and dad is light skin. So I'm pretty fair skin. I'm more on the lighter skin, but I'm pretty fair skin. So I guess it's a combination of both parents. I really don't know. It wouldn't even be like impatient or being on time because our mom is always on time. I'm always on time. Dad is always late, and that's not me. But I know. So a lot of things I see that our siblings have. Our older brother, he's not always the person they can rely on to be on time. If you want me to be there at a certain time, I'll be there, and I get it from my mom. So to regurgitate what I said earlier, a lot of stuff is what I don't know. What I know that I didn't get from my mom, I believe I got that from dad.
Okay, so what are some mistakes taught you the most about life?
I think the day that I remember when I mentioned earlier about me, not being in school for a month, and the whole time me being, the black sheep of the family at the time. The biggest mistake I think was making our mom cry and disrespecting our Uncle Funtz, who I will talk about later. I wouldn't say disrespecting, but being slick in the mouth with him. Those are, I think, are my biggest mistakes that that I can think about right now because those are the ones that stand out.
The sleeping part, I didn't know Dad liked to take naps as well. I know mommy liked to wake up early, and that's me and my son Elias does the same thing as well. When I wake up in the morning, I wake up like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm all right. Like I'm ready to go. Even if I sleep in late, like if I go to sleep late, I still wake up early. And my son does the same thing. So those are characteristics I guess we get from mommy and not from dad. But as far as the sleeping thing, this is news for me as far as getting that. I thought I didn't even know that I got that from him. That's interesting. And even still right now, I'm still trying to like figure my way out, trying to figure what kind of characters in me that is dad. What kind of characters in me that it's that he does that I do. So whenever he speaks, whenever he does certain gestures, I try to like see if that's me. Do I do that? I know for me, with me and Elias, I can tell by certain things, but I want to see where does this stem from, as far as, is it from dad or not? I mean, from mom you can tell, but from from dad is almost hard because we're not around him as much. So whenever I speak to him, I just want to see whatever gesture he does, whatever way he speaks, whatever action he takes, to see if I'm doing the same thing too. So it's, I mean, I guess it does make sense. Um, we share some characteristics. I just never realized where it was from. I didn't even know it was from him.
And like, speaking of the gestures thing, I know that, like, I think all the siblings, even our other brothers, I think we have a habit of, we sit down, we put our hand over our head. I notice that we all do that. Like we all like to like, I guess, fidget, like playing around with our hands. Definitely, especially our thumb. I don't know if we got that from. It's definitely from our dad's side. So I don't know if from dad or from grandpa, but we all do that.
Yeah, and especially the head scratching too. I can't.
Exactly.
I remember I was. I think it was you. It was you. Oh, it might happen to me, and it happened to me and Elias, and it happened to me and you. We were in the same area, and literally scratched our head at the same time in the same spot. It was so weird. It happened to me with Elias too. It's so weird how those things happen. Like the way we just like, either sometimes we cross our legs. It's the same way sometimes. Sometimes we just like, I just can't. It's so weird. And the time it happens simultaneously. And I know with you and I, we had this thing that, because we don't live anywhere close. I live further upstate, and you live in the city. Like, and sometimes Gamaniel will come to church, and from the minute I wake up, I even told my wife that, like, I say, I know Gamaniel is gonna wear this color. I know he's gonna wear this type of clothes. It's so weird. We're not twins. We're like literally like almost 6 years apart. So the fact that we have that link is so profound. Like, I would come to church, and we would literally be wearing the same colors, and it happens so often.
Right.
And it's just crazy. And I before I even get to the church, I was like, I'm pretty sure Gamaniel is gonna wear the same color as I am.
Right. If it's not the same color shirt, it's mismatched. Not mismatched, but reverse. Like, we have the color shirt you have on, I have it as a pants, and then the color pants you have on, I have a shirt.
Yeah, it's either the opposite or the same. It's always profound. There was so much characteristic, especially the color code thing is so weird that we are able to match without even knowing. It's profound. It's so profound. I mean, still today, I'm kind of intrigued about it, to see what am I going to wear that you're going to wear. I think our style is similar, because I know both of you and I worked in retail when we were younger. So I mean, that can make a difference, but I don't think that's the reason for it. But I know we worked in retail, but the fact that we can literally match, it's, for me, it's still profound.
And also the fact that we shared the same room for, almost, a dozen years or more. And, an interesting thing is that BJ moved out maybe like a week before I did at our mom's house.
Yeah, that's another similarity. Like, I got a job offer, and I had to move, and Gamaniel had got a new apartment, so he had to move as well. So it was literally, we moved within 7 days apart. It was so weird. I moved out, and then he moved out. It was kind of a shocker to mom, because we both moved out, because both of us shared a room. So we both moved out, and you started a family, and I had to get a new job. So we both moved out at literally the same week. And the day I had my interview was like, I think it was the same day that your wife had her interview, and she got hired, and I got hired literally within the same week. So there's a lot of the similarities. We're going to take a turn right now, and we're going to talk more about fatherhood. So what do you enjoy most about being a dad?
So that's easy. What I enjoy the most thing about being a dad is providing for my daughters, and them having to experience things that I always wanted to, and doing things that, I always wanted to. Just the other day, I was having a conversation with my oldest daughter, Abigail, and she was saying, Daddy, I only been to DR, I've been to Haiti, I've been to Virginia Beach, Miami, and Disney World. That's all I have been to. I'm thinking, when I was your age, I didn't go anywhere, and the fact that she doesn't understand it now, but you know, I see it as I'm proud of myself for allowing her to have all these things. She's only 6 years old, and sorry, and for taking her to all these places. I'm pretty sure when she gets older, she's gonna appreciate it. But just the fact that in the summertime, it may sound small to you guys, but my life was completely opposite. In the wintertime, we were cold. Summertime, we were hot. My daughter in the summertime, she's cool. AC is always on. Wintertime, we always have the heat on. These are big things because these are big things for me. These are big things for me that I'm able to provide to my kid with stuff that I dreamed about having. She just came from this summer. We took her to Disney and we took her to DR, and it was a great time. She had a great time, and she got into the Disney Castle, Princess Castle. She had dinner. She had dinner with the princesses. She had a great time. And when I think about it, I'm just thinking about what more can I do for her. Now I'm even not even now, but like when she started school, I was doing I continue to do education with her, math, reading comprehension, and when we had parent teacher conference, a teacher was saying that she's doing real well. She's doing above the national average, real well, especially in math. And she said she could do better in English, but even though in English she's still doing better than national average. And math, that was my strong point, and I see that in her. Then she asking me questions like, "Daddy, what's this times this?" And she'll tell me the answers, or what's this plus this, and she'll tell me the answer. And I'm real proud of her for that. And I think that I see her in me. I see a lot of similarities, things that she do, such as like one day she flushed the toilet with her feet, and I used to always do that when I was younger. And that's things that I never taught her. I didn't teach her I didn't teach her how to do that. She just got it from me. So yeah, those are the main things I'm proud of.
About being a dad.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever told you this, and this is one of the a confession I can say. Um, I've pretty much learned how to be a parent through watching you and Abigail. It's so profound. Like I found because Gamaniel had kids before I did, so I learned how to be a better parent, how to be a parent or an example of being a parent through Gamaniel. It's interesting because he's younger than me, but he had kids before I did, and I didn't have kids when. But I watch how he interacted with his older daughter Abigail, and I see how he loved her, embraced her, and sacrificed himself for her every single time. That I wanted to do that too. You know, I also learned how to be a father through my older brother. So it's kind of profound that I learned how to be more of a dad through my siblings instead of my father. My father was not an example. It was an example that I followed. I saw how my older brother literally sacrificed himself for his son, and both sons. And again with Gamaniel, like I would watch him teach her how to read and her vocabulary increase, teach her ABCs, her numbers. So, and I told my wife that when before we had kid, I was like, "Look, whatever he's doing is working. I want to do it too with my family. I want to do it too whenever we have kids." So that when we have our son now, I mean, I can see that literally I'm pretty much mimicking what you do, and I'm parenting. I'm parenting. I'm learning how to parent. I learned how to parent from you guys. You guys have kids, and I'm learning from you. And I always take a step back and say, "Wow, like." This is the stuff that I should have learned from my father, but I'm learning it from my siblings. I mean, you can learn how to be a father and a dad through just about anybody, but I was interested in seeing that it was from my siblings instead of it was from dad.
Yeah, especially um, I give credit to people older than me, like you said, our oldest brother. Um, Me and his son, we're very close. That's my godson. We're very close, and although I wasn't his dad, if I'm not his dad, I kind of learned some stuff about, just being an adult from him. Um, just the fact, it's mainly love. When you love a child, you do anything for that child. You want that child to succeed, especially in this world, with you or without you. If you were to die today, you know that you did your best. And when it comes to like even like the educational stuff, um, when Abby was born, I had like these posters of ABCs and colors and shapes, and I didn't think of that. I got that from our Uncle Willie. In his house, he had alphabets all around the house, and I was like, no, I thought about it. I was like, that's a good idea. I think because visual helps a lot. So those are things that I just learned from other people.
I didn't know that's where you got it from. I mean, I know I got it from you, but I didn't know that's who you got it from. But it works so well. And with Elias, it works so well. He's a visual learner too. The way he's able to retain is impeccable. So I was stunned. I mean, again, I a lot of the parenting that I've learned from you, and I've sit and observed. And I mean, not say much, but I definitely credit a lot of the learning was from you and Peggy, my older brother. So you guys literally taught me how to be a parent. And for me, I mean, I have a lot of role models in my life. I have a lot of people that I take a lot of positivity from, as far as how to be a dad and how to be a better dad. I can say I have a lot of role models, so I just take a lot of good from whomever that I get close to. One particular person that I'm going to think about, and I can see how he embraces his kids, the way he talked to them, the way he acknowledged them, the way he educate them. It's so profound. And whenever I see someone that has that quality, I immediately plug myself into them because I want to learn whatever they're learning, because they're doing something good. I want to do the same thing as well. I mean, like you said earlier, my Uncle Fuentz, the way he parents was just profound. Like, this is a person that he sacrificed literally everything. Just to go into more detail, like it's to the point that if it wasn't for my Uncle Fuentz, we would not be in the position that we are in right now. And that's across the border, from my sisters to all my brothers. And I can honestly say that. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm speaking for them, but because we went through that, if it wasn't for him, he was our number one father figure. At least for me, I know he was our number one. He was there for education. He was there for like parenting. He was there to show us that even though your dad is not around, at least want to show you that you are loved. And he showed literally almost every one of us that we were loved. So that's why whenever he's asking for something or he wants us to do something, for me, I would drop everything to go and help him out. This guy, he made so much of a difference. I know I didn't talk about much as far as father figure, but as far as father figure in whole, he literally showed us that we were loved. He showed us how to love, the way he embraced his sons, the things that he did for us. It's just profound. I can literally have a whole entire episode, a good sit down conversation about this guy. One of the big examples I can have as far as father figures. He taught us how to love. He taught us how to care for our education. If it wasn't for him, a lot of us would not finish school or would not be interested in school. He pushed us to the place that where my mom lives right now. If it wasn't for him, we would not have those things. Like, we owe a lot. I owe a lot from this guy.
Yeah, I mentioned his name earlier, and I was gonna bring him up and mention him. Everything you said was 100%. Uncle Fuentz was the guy who, like, when I mentioned Dad, he chose not to be there. Uncle Fuentz was the guy who chose to be there and wanted to be there. He saw how we were struggling, and he said, no, that's not gonna happen. These are not my kids, but this is family. And for those you know, our last name is Darius. Uncle Fuentz's last name is Million. It's just he's my dad's cousin in the long run. So he didn't have to do that. We were living in downtown Manhattan. It was a very small room. That's all we lived in, a room. The bathroom was outside. The kitchen was outside the door. We shared it with the neighbors. So we were living in a room. And one day Uncle Fuentz came in. I think we were, like, most of us sleeping on the floor. And he just came in and he said, okay. He came in, I think maybe like a week or two, because he had to get supplies. and he literally built us a bunk bed, two bunk beds, one on one wall, and one across the other wall. So remember, at that time, my mother had five. There was one of our sisters in Haiti, and so there was six kids in the house. So I had six kids, but one was in Haiti. So there was six people in the house, including our mom. So I remember, I believe Gael and which our older sister and Peggy slept upstairs, in the bunk bed. BJ slept down. I slept on the floor with my mom, and Barbara was a baby. I think she slept in the crib. I will always remember that. The fact that he literally gave us a place. He built a place for us. He didn't give it to us. He built it. He built us a place for us to sleep, and I'm so grateful for that. Even to this day, just the other day, since the summertime, he's always busy. Once he's always going to see his grandkids in California. Both his kids living in California, and he has brothers in Florida. He's always traveling. I was just trying to just to see him and just to take him out. It was hard because he's always working. I'm working. I have kids, so it's different now. And I finally got a hold of him. And when I first told him that over the summer, he said he wanted all of us to be there. And it's hard because we all have families, and it was hard to work out. And one day I was just like I'm just gonna call him because every time I call him, it's hard for me to reach him. Hey, I'm gonna try now. And he said, yeah. He said, yeah, let's go out tomorrow. I said, okay. I was like, pick a place, wherever you want to go. I'll take you no matter what. He's like, I got a friend who's in town, my best friend from from childhood. I was like, I don't care. You can have 20 people. I'm taking you out. We're going out because I've been trying to see this guy forever. And he isn't the father figure to me. Whenever I think about a dad, it's him. All the lessons that if you see, I'm sure people watch Family Matter and all those family shows growing up, and somebody would have a talk with the kid. That was Uncle Fonz. And remember, my mother had six kids. He had to talk with all of us. He always took time, no matter what. My mom used to call him whenever he was out of control, and he would come, no matter what he was doing. Maybe it wasn't that day, but he'd come within that week. He would definitely come and make the sacrifice. That's one guy who and when we talk about being a father, who we learn from. I also learned from my uncle, but Uncle Willie and my brother. But I think I learned just love from him and sacrifice and doing no matter what. It's literally unconditional love because he never wants anything. He doesn't ask for anything. Even when, for instance, this summer when I went to Disney World, his brother used to work for Disney World, so his brother retired. I told him, I want to go. I want to bring the kids. I want to bring just one of our daughters, and he said okay. And I said earlier, Uncle Fonz is always traveling, so the day was getting close. And I couldn't reach him. I left voicemail. I couldn't reach him. So I understand he's busy. So I called his brother. His brother told me, okay, this is what it's gonna be. A big discount. He literally gave me a big discount. This is how much it's gonna be. I said, all right, fine. Compared to what Disney World charge, I'll take it. And Uncle Fonz called me literally the day before about to leave. He was like, yeah, I spoke to your mom. I've been so busy. Sorry. Your mom told me going to Disney World. And you called my brother. I was like, yeah. He was like, why did you call him? I said, because I was trying to get in touch with you. I can't find you. He's like, if I tell you that I'm going to take care of it, I'm going to take care of it. He called his brother. He called me back maybe 15 minutes later. He said, you're going for free. And this is me at 32 years old. Uncle Fonz always looks out for us, no matter what. I'm sure all of us have stories. And this is Uncle Fonz at 32 years old. Me at 32, still looking out for me, still like a son. And then whenever he introduced somebody, he said, this is my son. That's what he says. When I took him out to dinner and his best friend was there, he said, this is my son. When his brother called me back, he was like, I didn't even know that Uncle Fonz see you like that. He said you're like a son to him. No problem. Don't worry.
Yeah, he doesn't even say we're like sons. He said, this is my son, this is my daughter. Because he literally raised us. Like my youngest sister, he literally raised her. I mean, when I can say, again, I can have an entire hour to two conversation about this guy's greatness, the stuff that he does or have been doing and still doing for us, sacrificing. He was literally our father at times. Like whenever we need to have a conversation, like Gamaniel said, he was there. Whenever we did something wrong, he was there. Like he would talk to us. It wasn't penalizing us. He would sit us down and talk to us and share his stories, his way of doing things, and tell us this is why we shouldn't do those things. This is why we should do those things. And he always have a story to tell. He always have a story to tell because he went through it. He doesn't want us to go through it. He see that we're suffering, so he tried his best to lighten it up, and he definitely did. Again, I must say 50 to 60, 70% of the where we are right now is because of him. Or where we are right now is because of him. He literally, whenever we ask him for something, he drops everything for us. And I'm not saying me, I'm not only saying Gamaniel, for all of us. He has such a big impact on all of us. If there was again, an ideal father figure, our Uncle Fonz was definitely that guy. And I'm so happy that we were able to have someone like that in our lives. Because again, who knows how we would turn out? Who knows how we would turn out? Because there was never enough space, never enough room, never enough. There was never enough of anything. And the fact that he saw something and a problem, and he came in and fixed it, like Emmanuel said, we were living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Correction, we were living in a room. I'm sorry, and shared bathroom. That's how severe the situation was. And he literally, I'm pretty sure it was not something that he should have done, but he got his equipments and was able to like literally build us beds from scratch, build us beds so we can have somewhere to sleep. It was my mom and all 6 of us. Imagine that in one room. Profound. Again, we can go in deep with this conversation as far as Fonz, because this is an ideal father figure. This is who this guy is, and he still today will always sacrifice himself for us. I love this guy so much. Love him so much. And I even still today I feel bad because I'm like, I want to do more, but I don't know what to do. And he doesn't ask for more. He just right now I'm pretty sure all he requires is a time. But he doesn't even have time because he's always doing something. You know? I fully enjoy this guy because he just knows how to love. He just knows how to be a parent. He just knows how to sacrifice himself. And this is the stuff that I'm taking as far as father or fatherhood. This is the stuff that I'm taking. I want to implement for my son moving forward. And I know Gamaniel is doing the same thing. And I know my other siblings are doing the same thing. So the stuff that we go through, are we able to overcome it? Is because of this guy. Mostly because of this guy. Because he showed us hope. We didn't see any hope, but he gave us hope. And we were able to be here because of him.
Yeah, definitely give us hope. I remember when I was graduating college, I ran out of, I needed money to pay for, I think, 2 more classes. And I told my mom that, I'm going to graduate. I just need to pay for these classes. I'll pay you back. And then she was so happy. So right after I graduated, later on that year, I started my career job, and I wanted to pay back my mom. And this is when we took her on the cruise. And I was talking to Uncle Fonz, and I'll never forget the words that he said. He just told me that he's proud of me, because I told him, I want to take care of my mom. That I feel like she did everything for me, and I want to take care of him. He didn't want that. He didn't want me to do anything for him, but he just wanted to do everything. He wanted me to just take care of my mom. It's funny that I'm thinking about this now. If you ask our oldest nephew Aiden, I always tell Aiden, whenever you finish school, whenever you finish college, don't think about what I did for you. Take care of your mom and dad. Think about how they sacrificed for you. And that's exactly what Uncle Fonz told me. And Uncle Fonz told me this after I've always told Aiden that. And it's just funny that he told me that. And he just told me that he's proud of me. That that I'm doing all this. Those are words I'll never forget. Whenever a parent tells you that they're proud of you and that they really mean it, it means a lot. So especially when someone who's like a father figure, who you see as a father figure, it means more, because it's not your father, but that person did everything for you. It meant so much to me.
Yes, I mean, again, I can go on and on with this guy, because he's done and continued doing so much for us, and I'm so happy that he decided to interject himself in our lives, so we can have a better life. He sacrificed so much, and I'm so happy that he did that. So I'm going to. So this question is again towards you. So did you have an idea of what kind of dad you wanted to be before being a father, and are you that now?
I know. I think I am. I know what dad I didn't want to be, because I didn't want to be like our dad. I wanted to be involved. I wanted to play with my kids. I wanted to be there. Provide for my kids. So I think I am that dad. Like just the other day, we went upstate around for Thanksgiving weekend. My daughter left her sneakers up there, and we don't. It was gonna take us. It took us the whole week just to get it back. But she had gym. I just, you know what? No matter what, I'm going to the sneaker store. I'm getting my daughter some sneakers. I don't care because she needs it. My daughter wants, she wants a gingerbread house. Boy, gingerbread house. She wants a Christmas tree. Christmas tree. I do. There is times when I let her know. No, I tell her no. But the fact that I'm able just to read her bedtime stories, she wants me to tuck her in every night, and it's me. She wants me to tuck her in. Me to read her stories. She wants me to give to whenever she's in the shower or she needs something, she calls me. So she's the ultimate daddy girl. Our youngest daughter is 9 months, so she's not really there yet. In terms of being attracted, being like a daddy's girl, mama's girl. But our oldest daughter Abby, she's the ultimate daddy's girl. Like everything is daddy this, daddy that. And even like the other day, with the whole Disney Plus, me and her watching Gargoyles, and she just loves it now. She wants to watch it. She's like, "Oh, Goliath this, Goliath that. Why he turned to stone, or why they going back in the past?" It's just that whole thing that I want to have with my dad. Like just, and it the whole thing I want to have my dad just like watching TV and discussing it, cartoons, watching movies, joking, going to like Broadway shows, Disney shows, and those things. It's not for me. I don't. To tell the truth, I don't enjoy it. I just enjoy spending time with my daughter and enjoy that she is able to go back to her friends and say like, "Hey, I did this." Especially us growing up when we were in whenever you go back from whenever we come back from summer vacation, actually what you did, we didn't do much. We just stayed in the house or go outside. We didn't do much activities. But our uncles, kind of to segue from that, our uncles did a lot for us. Our father's brothers, definitely Uncle Max. He's always take us to Atlantic City, always just take us to the beach. And those are orange shirts that I had to tell when I was back in school. But now my daughter can say, "Hey, I went here, I did this, I did that." And I just really hope that she appreciates this family, the Darius and the Millions family, as much as I do. She has cousins growing up who are around the same age as her, just like we did, and that's a big bonding factor. I think, yes. But to go back to be like, am I the father that I want to be? Am I the father to my kids that I always wanted to be? I think I am. I mean, I could always do better. I'm never, I'm never gonna stop being a great father. But I am happy with the dad I am now. There's no regrets.
Hmm. I'm just gonna go with what you said before, as far as your as far as Abigail. Abigail's the firstborn, and she's definitely a daddy's boy, daddy's girl. I'm sorry, she's definitely a daddy's girl. To everything that you want to do, she want to do as well. I think that's so cool, man. It's so cool that she wants to do everything that you're doing. Is I think it's so cool. I want to ask you a question about Abby. Can you tell me your vision for Abby?
My vision for her is just for her to choose what she want to do in life and be happy about it. I think definitely when it comes to the workforce, there are some times when we're limited on options, because of the situation that we're in, especially for you know being in a black family. So I want her to be what she wants, and I want her to live her life and just be happy with it. Um, Obviously, I want her to get married. I want her to have, I want her to have the life that she wants. But I also want her to understand that everything takes work. Nothing comes easy. But in terms of, I always say this thing about, oh, when Abby gets older, Abby and Logan and all the kids, they're gonna go to the Pocono because that's what we did. That's what we did. We spent time with each other. So sorry. Um, for Abby, it's her just living a life, living a fulfilled, fun life, um, just being there for her family, being there for her little sister, and just taking care of herself, being able to take care of herself. That when I get older, I know that I did a good job and that I don't have to worry about her.
Hmm. Are there things you wish you had done different as a dad?
Well, sometimes there are some times when I get a little, I catch a little temper with her. I yell at her. Um, but it's all like it's all like a learning thing. But sometimes, so I live in the city, and those of you who don't know that the city has a certain time when you have to find parking. If you can't find parking, then you're screwed. So in the morning time, I have to get Abby ready, and I gotta get Isabel ready. I drop Abby off at school. I drop Isabel off at my mom's house, and I gotta find parking. So sometimes I try to, have Abby hurry up. Even though she's 5, I try to have her do things her own, like pack her own snack, and I try to, tell her how to take a shower. But then again, sometimes I have to remember that she's only 5 years old, and she can't move as fast as I want to, or she can't walk as fast as I want to. So I think if it's just me, it's the whole temper thing, and more of relaxing with time. Even though with the cities, it is a certain time you gotta be at a certain place. Um, I think just me when it comes to time, just trying to understand that she is only 5. Sometimes I do understand that, but especially in the morning time. It's usually in the morning time that she's only 5 years old. She can't do everything, but I try to prepare myself to avoid that. I try to do everything the night before. Iron her clothes, or I pack her bag, or I ask her what she wants for breakfast. That way, I try to have everything ready, and I get up early, extra early, just to do all these things.
What are 3 happy moments in your life that you can sum up, either with your kids or for your own person?
I think the first happy moment that I can think of is and it's funny, when we moved from the 1 room apartment to the projects, because it was from 1 room into a 4 bedroom. So instead of cramming and being all around each other, we had our space. That was a very happy moment, and especially for my mom. 'Cause my mom used to always say she wanted kids to be able to run around. And it was a pretty big apartment. Um, Second happy moment, I think it was. All right, so I'm gonna go to a little story and then say this. When I was maybe 14 or 15, maybe around that age, um, our aunt Alud, she had money she had money on the counter, and I took it. I took it, and she said that you cannot come back to this house until you give us the money back. And I denied it for a while, and I was just missing my cousins. 'Cause I used to always go there. I missed them. I missed them. I missed them. And I think the fact that I owned up to it, I said yes, I took it, and I gave her the money back. The fact that I think that's when I really realized how much family meant to me and how much I love those guys. I really missed them during that time. Um, that's the second moment when I realized I did a mistake and I owned up to it was a big mistake. The third, I think it would have to be finishing college because it was a journey. Like I said, I I stopped going to school for a while. I had to go to alternate high school. I finished a semester late, but I started college in January. I started college of the year, so I wasn't too far behind. I started at community college, and I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. And what's the point of for me? If I could just go into a 4-year university and then just get out the way because I'm gonna have to do it anyway. And the fact that I did it, and I was the first one in the family to do it. It wasn't my goal to be the first one in the family to do it. No, it wasn't. Isabel's trying to lie. Um, it wasn't my goal, but it was just a goal just to financially be in a different situation. And the fact that I did it, and I started a career job, and you know, just looking back of all the sacrifices that I did, whenever our cousins used to always go out, I never used to go out. I just tried to stay home and like study and finish up. And that was it. And just to continue from that, um, true family is always going to be there. When like I said, our cousins used to always invite me out. I used to never go out, and now we go out all the time. We go out all the time. So true family is always going to be there no matter what.
Mm, I'm just gonna elaborate on something that you said on the moving into the graduation. When we moved from the 1 bedroom to the 4 bedroom, I think I want to give you guys an imagery of how this was. So we went from 1 bedroom where we shared the entire room, 1 room, all of us sharing it. Again, this is just us being transparent. It's hard. It was hard for me to say, but it's easier for me to say it now. one bedroom, one room. I keep saying one bedroom, one room to a four-bedroom apartment. I remember the first day that we got this apartment. My older brother and I literally ran inside the apartment, and so we can pick out for our room. Literally, I ran in the room to try to pick up my room. The room that I picked was the room that my older brother wanted, so he kicked me out. So therefore, I had to go to the other room. Since he was the oldest, so he had his own room, so I had to share a room with Gamaniel. So that's I want to tell you that that's how big it was. That's how much of a difference it was. And again, us just getting that apartment was because of my uncle Franz, because he was determined to get us this apartment, and he did get it for us. So imagine moving from one room apartment to a four-bedroom apartment. This is a luxury for us, and this is stuff that we
Sorry, let me also mention that we also had a living room and an eating kitchen.
yeah, all we had everything that we didn't have. We came from literally nothing to having pretty much everything. And that's the reason why I think right now, um, uh, I think all of us are very humble because we came from nothing, you know, from very little, from the beginning. We came from nothing to having whatever we have right now. So anything that we get, we're grateful for it. At least I know for myself. Everything that I get, I'm grateful for because I know how it is to not have anything. I know how it is to not be able to eat. I know how it is to not be able to sleep on your own bed. Like, I know how it is to not be able to breathe or have a home to come to and relax. I know that. So the fact that we were able to have a place that we can call our own, call home, and be able to stretch our legs and be okay, I don't know how else I can say it's profound. It's so electrifying because we're able to have a lot of stuff that we didn't have before. We're able to do a lot of things that we didn't do before. I'm able to come home and be relaxed. That's how powerful that was for me. You know, it's such a powerful thing. And I just also wanted to just talk about what you were referring to as far as graduation. I believe you were the first person. Gamaniel was the first person to graduate from college. And as soon as he graduated from college, I had to get my act together. I gotta do it too. You know, again, I learned from you. You are the youngest brother, but I learned. I absorb a lot of these things from you because you were able to achieve it. I'm like, I can do it too, and that's how I visualize things. That's how I absorb these things. I see if you can do it and you're doing it well, you're able to overcome it. I can do it too. Not to say I wasn't able to do it before, but because I see that you did it, it pushed me, it encouraged me to do it. You know, me getting my education, I'm not. Of course I got it for mommy, but because you were able to do it, I was like, I want to do it too. You know, I want to be up there when you up there. I want to have my diploma where you have your diploma. Like, I want to have that right next to you because you did it. I want to do it too. And I always wanted to say that because of you. I think a lot of us decide to like take our education seriously. From myself to my older brother, he decided to take his education seriously as well. But it just take just at least one of us. At least for me, it just took one of us to just like say and show that they can do it, and the rest of us were able to follow as well. For me, I can see the value of education. Like I said before, it wasn't a thing for me. It's not too much of a thing now, but I see the value of it now. I would have a higher interest in it if I was able to, like, I don't know, see someone that was able to make it. Because all of us were going through our own ordeals. All of us were going through our own struggles. All of us was trying to grow up. Sometimes at that point, we feel like we pretty much raise ourselves, you know, to a certain degree. So imagine all this plugging in. So education was not a thing for me. I just wanted to just get out. So moving forward, to see that you are able to accomplish that, it really just like set me on a path of getting my act together, or set me on a path that, okay, education is important. I need to get this. And I also seeing that it's not only just for me, it's an accomplishment for my for mommy. It was an accomplishment for mommy, and it's accomplishment for my son. Is even now I'm looking forward to continue my education because I want him to know that one, education is important, and two, that if I can do it, he can do it too. Mommy is doing it, so he can do it too. So a lot of the stuff that I'm doing right now is not because it's not simply because of for me, especially I'm a parent now. It's because I wanted to show my son, and not even my son too, I want to show literally the niece and nephews that they're able to do those things. It makes it easier for them to accomplish those goals if their uncles and fathers and moms are able to achieve those goals. So I'm doing it not only for me, but I'm doing it for everybody else that's around me. So to show that we can do it. And that's one thing I wanted to mention as far as that. The degree, and I got my degree because I would say because of you, but you pushed me to get that, and I always wanted to be grateful for that because one of us were able to do it. That means that all of us can do it.
And if you remember when I turned 30, I put a post on IG. Um, I dedicated a decade to all three of my older siblings, you, Gael, and Peggy. Because I know I've seen all the sacrifice that you guys did for me, and I really appreciate that. I wouldn't have been able to graduate from college if it wasn't for you guys, including with you guys. Um, I'm very thankful for my older siblings, from Peggy being like the second father figure. Um, my first memory of my oldest brother Peggy was him protecting me. That's the first memory I have of him. Gael, she was, our mom was always working. Gael used to always step in. She was a second mom. She used to always cook. Keep us fed. And you was before we before especially when we moved in the into the 4 bedroom apartment. You was my roommate, and you was also my friend. We always talk. He was always there, um, and he forgave me for a lot of stuff that I did. All the stuff that I did, um, and I'm very thankful for all you guys. You guys shaped me for who I am. Yeah, so I definitely. That's why I always had that in my mind. When I'm turning 30, I'm going to dedicate 10 years to each of you guys, and I love you guys for that.
No, love you too, bro. So, almost wrapping up. How do you want your child to remember you?
I want her to remember me as the dad who was strict, but but she can always come. They could always come to me. A dad who sacrificed for them, and who financially set their future for them, who put them on a path to be very, how do I say this, not dependent on loans or on other stuff. Um, when my first daughter was born, I it's funny. I started thinking about death when she was born, and it was my death. Like, if I die now, what I'm gonna leave for her, or when I die when I'm 60, or when I'm 80, what I'm gonna leave for her. So that was the thing that I always, and I still think about it to this day. How can I financially, and how can I shape her to be a woman um, that's prepared for this world whenever I do depart. Um, I mentioned earlier, I'm very good at finance, so I'm always try to just set aside some money for them. Um, you know, invest some money in for them, just so they can be financially ready after college, because college is only going to get more expensive. Um, so for these kids, my two girls, I just want them to know that I was the fun dad, just like I'm the fun Uncle G, and I just want to be the greatest dad to them.
That's the kind of legacy you want to leave behind.
That is.
With Elias, there's so many things that I want to accomplish before I don't know, kick the bucket. There were so many things because I want him to see that his dad has gone through some stuff, but is able to make it. We refer to the education, but it's not only education, just how we interact. Everything that I do, he wants to mimic. Whenever I'm fixing stuff around the house, he wants to do it. Whenever I'm on this podcast, he wants to be on the podcast. So I can tell that he wants to do it. So I want to also leave a good legacy for my son as well. Just a good way of understanding things, a good way of going about things. So yes, you were referring to your daughters as far as certain things you want to leave for her as far as legacy. I wanted to just ask a question referencing that. You're raising two daughters right now. Abby is older and Isabel is the youngest. Do you have any fear of raising daughters?
Yeah, I have fears. So just to go back to the other thing about legacy, a thing that I know I'm gonna be okay with, is the family that my daughters have. I know I'm gonna be okay with that. So back to your question, in terms of fears about raising two girls, it's fears on both ends. I'm a black man. I always thought, I guess I was naive when I was growing up that as long as I have an education as a black man, I'll be fine. But with what's going on, especially what's going on in the United States, it's very scary. Um, so that just leaving two, it's something would happen to me, God forbid, leaving two girls, young, definitely young, without a father, it's gonna affect them. So that's one thing. And another thing is that I I want to say that I'm not afraid, but I just don't know, what God has in store for them, or what's gonna happen because they're females and they're black females, um, and it's changing. What's going on in times is changing. Um, so that's my fear, but my goal is just to always be there for them and just try to teach them, the way of the world, the way of man. And when I mean man, not mankind, men, as in guys.
So, as you know, you have a daughter, and she's mimicking pretty much everything that you're doing, and she want to be like you. Would do you think do you think you molding her to date a guy potentially like you?
I don't think at this time, I don't think so. I think maybe I am. It could be I am, but I think I'm molding her. Sorry, I think I'm molding her to just. I want to say that I think I'm molding her to just be ready for life. And it's life as a kindergartner. I'm not gonna mold her. As a 20-year-old woman. Right now, it's all about learning, um, your alphabets and letters, and how to apply that to life. Um, Pretty much soon we're gonna start doing currency. We're gonna start learning about money. Um, and when I do give her money, um, she she's just like me. I give her money. She puts it in the piggy bank. She knows that. I tell you, she use it for ice cream. She said, "No, I want to put it in the piggy bank. I want to save it." So I guess I'm teaching her, or she's just learning about how to save, even though she doesn't know the really real meaning of it. But the fact that if I spend, I have less. If I save, I have more.
Would you want Abigail to date a person like you?
Some characteristics, yes. Some characteristics, no. Um, Overall, I will say no, because I'm not the perfect guy. But I would want her maybe a younger version of me or an alternative. But I would, speakingly, I would say no. To be honest.
I mean, the reason why I asked that question is because we are our let's say my son Elias, he is with his mom, and he's more or less a mama's boy. So from the way he grows up with her and see how she is and see how I treat her, he's more or less gonna look for a person like his mom. Not, I'm not saying identical, but those are characteristics that he's going to pick out. And the reason why I threw that question at you is because you more or less mentally are molding her to pick someone that's have your characteristic. Believe it or not, I mean that's why they said the daughter, their first boyfriend, so to speak, is their dad, or their first idol is their dad, because everything that their dad do is what they want to do. The way you are and the way you act around her, the way you treat her, this is what she's going to look at for a potential mate. I know that's in the future, but that's just the overall concept where the way you grew on raising her is who she's going to want to be with. So she's gonna want to date someone that has your characteristics. So your characters, the way you act, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you save, the way you don't save, all that are characters that she see in you that she's going to look for another mate. And the reason why I challenge you towards that is because if there is a certain characteristic that you don't think you should show her or you don't like, I think that's something you might have to like. What I'm not saying you, just in general, like myself too. If there's certain characters in us that we don't like, I think we need to try our best to show our kids the best, because the bad behaviors can overtake the good behaviors. But the thing is, they take both. If there are certain bad behaviors that we're doing, they're going to take that too. So we have to be able to identify those bad behaviors that we're doing, so we won't transfer our kids, so to speak. So that's why I said as to challenge you as far as that. Like there are, if you may not think about it, but you more or less are molding Abby to just have an idea of this is the kind of guy I want to be, because my dad was amazing. He was doing this, he was doing that, he was able to do this, he taught me this. So she's gonna look for that kind of personality trait in her potential mate.
I always go back to um, something that not I want to call Uncle Max, but our cousin Max told us. Told me. I remember. So he was literally the first Darius to graduate. I was the first one from my mom's kid, but he was the first Darius of this generation. And I told him that I wanted to be like you. He told me no, be better than me, and that always stuck in my mind. So when it comes back to my daughter, I wanted to be with somebody like me, but also better than me.
So this one question is, if dad was sitting next to you or he was listening to right now, all right? He was sitting next to you or he was listening to this message. What would you want to tell him?
I think I told him already when we had a little dinner for him, appreciation dinner. What I told him was that I forgive him and that I understand where he came from. Now that I'm a dad, it was different for me growing up and me being a young man, young boy. But as I got older and I had a child of my own, and I understood, even though it was wrong what he did, I forgave him for it. And I would never want my child to, have that anger towards me for what I had for our dad. So that's what it would be. I told him already. He knows. And that's pretty much it.
Right. Wow. Yes. I love it. And I'm pretty much gonna be wrapping up. I wanted to wrap up, and before I wrap up, I just want to ask one last question for the fathers out there, for the dads out there, father figures out there. They have a way of impacting us. They have a way of having a way of changing our lives. What would you say? What kind of message would you have to all the fathers and father figures out there?
So this is especially for the fathers who, or the soon-to-be fathers. Just be the dad that you always wanted when you was growing up. If you had the dad that you always wanted when you was growing up, be like that. And like I said, be better. If you didn't, if you always wanted your dad in your life, be that dad. Be in your child's life. Love it's easy if you want it. If you want to be in your kid's life, it's not difficult. So that's what I would say. Just be the dad that you always wanted growing up, and everything else is just gonna come. It's gonna come because a child needs nothing else but love. You give that child that, and you're fine. Everything else just falls in place. And Isabel agrees with me.
I can tell. I can tell. Thank you, bro. Thank you for taking this opportunity to be vulnerable, to let me know what's in your mind, the experiences that you had. We all grew up in the same household. We share the same room, and we have different experiences. We had different perspective of life, and I'm so glad that you're able to share these things with me. And for every interview that I have with our siblings, I learn something new. Or even with our relative, I learn something new. Because I have my perspective, I have my view of things, and I don't see others because I have my own. And this platform is not only just for the family, but it's just anybody that has a story to tell. Everybody has their own story to tell, and how the fact that you were able to overcome it, the fact that you are here, the fact that you are alive, is not by luck. All of us were handpicked. All of us were hand chosen to be here. And I'm so happy that you were able to come into this podcast and share with me your thoughts and feelings and experiences, because all of ours is different. And the fact that you were able to share with me, I'm so happy that you were able to. I learned a lot from what you told me, because again, I didn't know these things, but that's what story is about. It's not judgment, it's not critique, it's just a story to tell. And I'm happy that you were able to be vulnerable and be open with me about being a dad, how to be a dad, and what kind of figures you had in your life. And I'm not gonna keep you any longer. So I just wanted to say thank you again for your presence. Thank you for your time shared. Thank you for your story, your life story, your life experiences. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I just want to say that I love you, and I'm happy, and I'm proud of who you have become, and I want to continue to fight to become the best that you want it to be. Like you said, you want to be a perfect dad, or you want to be a good dad. You need to work towards to achieve that, and I know that you're working towards that. Nobody's perfect, and nobody's gonna be perfect. So I want to challenge you, and I want to challenge everybody else to continue to be the better version of yourself. Be the better version of yourself. You're not gonna be perfect, and you're never gonna be perfect. But if you strive to be perfect, you will be perfect. Or you strive to be perfect, you'll be close to perfect, should I say? But I want to thank you again, bro, for the time that you had, for sharing with me. And I want to say again that I really do love you.
Thank you. I love you too. I love you all, you guys. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say one more thing. Like I said, um, like our cousin Max said, don't be like him. Be better than him. And what that meant to me was, I don't know if he meant it that way, but what it meant to me was this, and this is for everybody. Don't set limits for yourself. You can mold yourself after somebody, but you can always be better. So that's what I'll say to all the dads or the moms, just and everybody, and whatever you're doing in life. Set a goal for yourself. Then after that, set a goal to, set another goal. Just keep improving yourself, and no matter what you're doing.
Wow, wow. Be better. Don't be like me. Be better. Of course. That's amazing. Be better. I mean, you see someone that's doing something good. Be better than them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we want that for our kids. We want our kids to be better than us. So again, guys, I want to thank you for allowing us to be vulnerable. Thank you for my guest, Gamaniel Darius, my brother, for sharing his vision, for sharing his message, for sharing his story. And I want to thank you guys for coming back for this podcast. And I will see you later. Bye. And now, a moment with the family.
Israel want to say something. All right, guys.
All right. Good night. Okay, guys, if you want to keep up or listen to more of this podcast, you can go to Google Play, Stitcher, Apple, and Spotify. And of course, on social media as far as Instagram. Catch you later.